Hi, this is Chuck Lavazzi. Welcome to Chuck's Culture Channel. And today, my guest is St. Louis actor, playwright, director, and founder of the Midnight Company, Joe Hanrahan. The company has a full 2025 season, including the world premiere of the comedy drama Pride and Joy by St. Louis playwright and composer Colin McLaughlin. That happens July 10th through 26th at the Chapel venue, which you can see behind me right now. For more information on that and all the other Midnight Company shows coming up, check out their website, midnightcompany.com. Okay, so Pride and Joy, new play, local playwright. Tell us about it, Janet.
Yes, Pride and Joy. It was first seen in a one evening reading at the St. Louis Fringe Festival in 24.
Okay.
Colin McLaughlin. And since then, he and I have talked several times, and we retitled the play. It's now titled Pride and Joy. And it's a one real-time show. There's a family involved, a mom, a dad, and a group of young adult kids who are meeting at one of their apartments for a family intervention. But once they get there, they're kind of confused as to who the intervention is for. So they're all going back and forth. And hopefully this will be the base for a lot of, discussion and interest and entertainment.
Everybody needs the intervention maybe in this family. Is that the suggestion?
I think it's a symptom of our times. Yeah. It's everybody needs a psychiatrist. Everybody needs an intervention.
Now, Colin, tell me a little bit about him. He's a local playwright.
Yeah, he's been working the last several years pretty busily around town. He's done a number of shows about his St. Louis history, about different situations that have happened in St. Louis history. He's got a couple more plays coming up for Action Art Collaborative and other things. A lot of his shows have been very social justice oriented. He's also a musician and a composer. He actually composed the music for the spring show at the Rep Sherwood, the Robin Hood show. He did the music for that, and he his music as well as playwriting. But he's my kind of Midnight's co-producer on this show. We're putting this on together and gathering all the resources we need.
Wow! So Midnight Company has been around a while now. I forget when you started this.
It's like 27. Well, I think it's our 27th or 28th season.
Yeah. And for a long time, people in St. Louis know this, but anyone listening to this outside of the area might not know that for a long time it was largely a one-man operation. One man being you.
Well, it still is. I've had a couple of artistic partners over the years. Dave Waslek co-founded with me. He left for about 7 years. Then Sarah Whitney joined, and she was with me for about 7 years. And I've been, handling it the rest of the time. And I'm kind of coupling with that. I have wound up prior to Midnight and during doing a lot of one-person shows. I mean, far too many, but they were always good scripts, and they're very convenient to do. So I will do some of those, including I'm doing one in the fall this year, another one.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, in October at Greenfinch, I'll be doing a 1 week run of a show that I've done before. It's called St. Nicholas. It's by Conor McPherson, the Irish playwright, and it's a really tremendous script, and that's why I'm bringing it back. And I think that time of year, as we verge on Halloween, will be good. It's about a theater critic in Dublin who is kind of sick of everything, sick of life, sick of theater. He's a drunk, and but then one night at a production of Salome, he's just entranced by the dancer, and he kind of meets up with the cast after the show and tells him he's given it a good review, but he hasn't. He's given it a bad review, and he humiliates himself. The company goes on to London to do the show. He follows him and humiliates himself some more, tries to lie his way out of it. He winds up passing out drunk in a park in London, and then he's woken up and tended to by a vampire. And that's the end of Act 1.
That's just Act 1, okay.
I'm not going to tell you about Act Two, but the theater critic is put in the employ of the vampires, and it's like, how much will he do, and how much will he stand? So it's a very intriguing script, and it Connor McPherson, you might know, he's done a number of great shows. The Weir may be his most popular. A number of shows with very uh, kind of themes that border on the supernatural. His most
Yeah.
recent work, which has been touring the U.S., is an incredible piece. He's collaborated with Bob Dylan to do "Girl from North Country," a musical that played on Broadway and off Broadway in London, and now it's touring the U.S. And it's a show set in the 30s in Minnesota in a boarding house with a bunch of folks trying to make it through life, and using the not always the most popular, but singing the songs of Bob Dylan. So that's Connor McPherson.
You know, we started out talking mostly about Pride and Joy, but
Yeah.
it seems we've spent most of our time talking about St. Nicholas. I think that's because you're involved in so many things. You have also cabaret hybrid shows that you've been doing at the Blue Strawberry here in St. Louis.
Those have been doing successfully. In the spring of this year, we did two shows, a new show, two performances about Natalie Cole, and with Kimmy Kidd and Christina Yancey and Darius Lambert, and those shows just went so well. We added extended for a couple of performances, and then of course the Linda Ronstadt show we've been doing. Just one look. We're entering our third year of performances, and we've got shows coming up in August and September and October and December.
Yeah.
Four shows announced coming up.
Yeah. I have to say, I, among others, was probably astonished by how popular that Linda Ronstadt tribute, Just One Look, has become. That has had astonishingly good legs, as they say.
It's been a combination, I think, of kind of she just fits right into a certain demographic. We've got a certain kind of a middle-aged group of fans have been coming who love her work, and then the other thing, it has to be the quality of the show and the band and the music we provide, because we have so many repeat performers, and word of mouth is, of course, what's been selling for us. People say, "Oh, my neighbor said I had to come, and so here I am." So it's that's been the success of it.
Yeah. Well, Joe, if people want to know more about what's going on with Midnight Company, what is the website?
Midnightcompany.com.
Okay, midnightcompany.com. Go there to find out everything. And boy, it is a lot that Joe and the Midnight Company are involved with. Joe, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to talk about the upcoming shows. Anything you want to add before I hit the stop record button here?
Well, I just want to give a nod maybe to the group we've assembled to put on Pride and Joy. We're really happy with the group. The cast includes Summer Bear and Allison Moser and Levon Byers and Jason Heil. We've got a lot of award winners in there. Jason won Best Supporting Actor from the Critics Circle Awards this past awards for being in All My Sons at New Jewish, and Allison was a part of the Best Ensemble Award that went to ERA for their show last summer about the Romanovs, the Romanov yard sale.
Yeah, Romanov family yard sale. Yeah.
Of course, 2 years ago, Levon won Best Actress for her role in the midnight show Lion in Winter. So a really great group. And then directing is Carl Overly Jr., a significant actor and director in town, and he'll be overseeing the madness.
Yeah. Well, since you brought up the names of so many prominent local people who are in the cast, we should mention, since you brought up the St. Louis Theater Circle Awards, that you got one yourself this year.
I did. They, kind of out of nowhere, they awarded both myself and Ron Himes lifetime achievements. It was kind of interesting because, Ron and I first worked together over 50 years ago, and before he started the Black Rep. And so we did a few shows before then. And of course, I've worked with that company several times since, but the honor was, it was really, really nice. And people were very very pleasant and, very appreciative of what I've done and stuff. And so I certainly appreciated the recognition and the honor.
Yeah. As a member of the theater circle myself, I agree. I voted for you, of course. So I was happy to see you got that. I think you deserved it. Joe, thanks so much for taking some of your time. And everybody else, check out midnightcompany.com. Find out what's up with the upcoming show in July at the Chapel venue and all the other things that Midnight is up to. Joe, thanks. Have a good day. Talk to you later.
You too, Chuck. We'll see you soon. Thank you for this.
Yeah. Bye-bye.